What is it about this vibrant neighborhood of Coral Ridge in East Fort Lauderdale that's got everybody going crazy? In this video, we're gonna give you a full tour and show you why this neighborhood continues to outrank others in terms of location, desirability, and why home values continue to stay strong. Here we go. So I've been touching on this neighborhood of Coral Ridge quite a bit in some of my more recent videos, but I realize I've never actually given a full tour of it. But before we get started, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. So we're gonna do something a little bit different in this tour. I'm gonna pull up the map, give you a basic overview of Coral Ridge, its location, its proximity. Then I'm gonna hop in the car and we're actually gonna tour the entire neighborhood, and you'll see me pop in from time to time to give you some context. But let's get this map pulled up so you have an idea of exactly where we are in Fort Lauderdale. All right, so zoomed out, you can kind of get some context of where Coral Ridge is in relation to certain things like downtown Fort Lauderdale and the airport. So Coral Ridge is located in the northern half of Fort Lauderdale, and let's just take a look at the overall proximity. So you can see it outlined in red right here. To the north, we have Oakland Park Boulevard, which if you take it to the west, straight shot to 95. And when you come out on the east, you got the bridge right here, and you're right at the beach. Bayview Drive right here, which you have heard me talk about in plenty of my videos. It runs right down the middle of the neighborhood, which will take you all the way down to Sunrise Boulevard, which just like Oakland Park. If you take it to the west, it takes you right to 95. And then to the east, takes you right to the beach. And then Bayview ends right here at the Galleria Mall. So this is the mall right here. And then on the west side, we have Federal Highway. So that's gonna be this road right here. Let me zoom out. This road right here is Federal Highway. And this is basically where you're gonna have everything you need, whether it's food shopping or just shopping and dining in general. You'll find just about everything on this little stretch of US 1. And so one thing to note about Coral Ridge is that there's actually only a few points of access into the neighborhood. So on the north side, where you have Oakland Park Boulevard right here, you have Bayview, which is one point of access. And then right here, there's another one right across the street from the Coral Ridge Mall, which is this right here. I believe that's Middle River Drive. Then on the east side, you have Northeast 26th, which is this road right here, which actually leads directly into Wilton Manors, down Wilton Drive, and straight shot into downtown Fort Lauderdale. Then on the south side, you only have one entrance and one exit, and it's gonna be Bayview, which, like I mentioned earlier, ends at Sunrise right by the Galleria Mall. So let's talk about why our clients love Coral Ridge and just what makes this area so popular overall. Number one, it's gonna be the location and the proximity. I mean, you have 2 points of access to the beach, one at Oakland Park, one at Sunrise. You have 2 malls, which is the Coral Ridge Mall right up here, right off of Oakland Park and Federal, and then again, the Galleria Mall right here on Sunrise, right when you come out of Bayview. You're close to downtown, whether you wanna take US 1, turns into Sunrise, and then straight shot into downtown, or like I said earlier, if you go into Wilton Manors, you can take Wilton Drive, and that pretty much will run you straight into downtown. And again, it's just that stretch of US 1. Like I said, you have everything you need right there. And then of course, the homes, the style of the neighborhood. This is one of those neighborhoods that's really old and it has a lot of character, which you don't really tend to see a lot of in the northern half of Fort Lauderdale. And one of the best things is you can find everything here, from multifamily to condos to townhomes to single family to a $20 million home on the water. And as far as homes go, everything west of Bayview is gonna be, for the most part, dry lot homes, except for the homes on this river right here, which is the Middle River. You do have a fixed bridge up here on Federal. This bridge is pretty low. I mean, You'll be lucky if you can get a kayak under it during high tide, but I have seen some pretty decent boats on this river. And then you do have another fixed bridge down here on Sunrise, and this one's a little bit higher. You can get a decent sized boat under it if the tide's low, but again, during high tide, probably just be lucky to get a kayak or a jet ski. Now, when we come east of Bayview, this is pretty much where all of your waterfront homes that have unobstructed ocean access are gonna be. Everything east of Bayview. And all these canals right here, they all lead to the intercoastal, which if you just keep following this down, just follow the mouse, this will lead you directly out to the ocean. That's the Port Everglades right there. So a lot of canal front homes, and let me tell you, some of these views you will only find on these canals. We're working with a client right now in Coral Ridge, and the home has a view of the Palms, which is that iconic pink condo building on the beach. And this view is one of a kind. You'll probably only find it from a handful of lots, pretty much in the entire city of Fort Lauderdale. There's also this little bay down here, Sunrise Bay, which has really nice views of the park right here. And this is Seminole Drive right here, which I'll show you a little bit later in the video, but all multi-million-dollar homes. But the east side of Bayview is where you're gonna find most of your waterfront homes. And then if we zoom in here, you can see some townhomes. So you have options for waterfront townhomes and condos in here too, not just single family. And then when it comes to condos and multifamily homes, those are mostly gonna be found on the outskirts of the neighborhood, up towards this area, maybe a little bit down towards here. The condos, you're mostly gonna find down here on the south side. And then up here on the north side, right off Oakland Park Boulevard. So I think I showed you a lot. We'll take a look at some of the amenities later, but for now, let's get out there and see Coral Ridge. All right, so for some context, what you just saw was the dry lot side of Coral Ridge, which was everything west of Bayview. And next we're gonna take a look at some of the waterfront homes, but before we do that, I do just wanna remind you that we are realtors in Florida, and we make these videos to give you something that I didn't have when I moved out here 5 years ago. So if you're getting value from this video, we'd love the opportunity to hear from you and earn your real estate business. Our number and email are popping up below. Pause and take a screenshot if you have to, and we'd love to hear from you at any time. Okay, let's get back to the tour. Okay, so let's talk about amenities in Coral Ridge. Now, this isn't an association community, but you will find a few parks and a yacht club. And I'm standing here just outside of George English Park, which is on the south side of the neighborhood. It's a staple in this neighborhood with tons of green space, basketball, tennis. You have the boat ramps where you can just drop your boat, jet skis or kayaks right there. But keep in mind, there is a fixed bridge here. So during low tide, you can get a decent sized boat under there, but during high tide, probably just a kayak or a jet ski. We're also just across the street from the Galleria Mall, and then east from the mall, about maybe a half mile, we have Hugh Birch State Park, which is a massive park on the Barrier Island that kind of gives you that wooded feel. Doesn't really feel like you're in Florida. And I really love this park. It's got camping, hiking, fishing, 2 miles of bike paths, a meditation garden. You can see some wildlife in there. And the east side has direct beach access, while the west side is on the intercoastal. You can cast out a line, take a look at some multi-million-dollar homes, and watch the yachts go by. And then speaking of yachts, we have the Coral Ridge Yacht Club. And this place has been here forever, 75 years to be exact. And it's not only boating and fine dining, they host a ton of events, family activities, the amenities like the fitness center, swimming, pickleball. And also, remember how I told you home values in this neighborhood stay strong and are always increasing? Well, we're also right up the street from Bayview Elementary School, which is a 10 out of 10 on greatschools.org, and it's ranked the 4th best public elementary school in all of Broward County per niche.com. So big reason there why values stay strong in this neighborhood. So while yes, the neighborhood of Coral Ridge is all residential, I showed you earlier on the map that we are just east of Federal Highway, where you can basically find everything you need. So basically everything you need is right here in suburban Fort Lauderdale without having that city-like cluster feel. You have the Coral Ridge Mall to the north with a public shopping center. You have the Galleria Mall to the south, also with a public shopping center. And then like I mentioned earlier, this is probably that one and only stretch of US 1 in northern Fort Lauderdale where you have basically everything you need. You have a Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Starbucks, Best Buy, Barnes & Noble. And that's not to mention some of the really great restaurants in the area like Rainbow Palace for some high-end Chinese food, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, or Casa D'Angelo for some really great Italian. So this is definitely one of those reasons that our clients are choosing to live in Coral Ridge. You have everything right here. And one thing I've noticed is that a lot of you guys that watch my videos, you already live in Fort Lauderdale. So I'm just curious. If you currently live in Coral Ridge, let us know in the comments. We'd love to connect with you and see what you think about this neighborhood. In the meantime, I hope you got value from this video. If you did, we'd love for you to reach out to us so we can connect with you and help you make a smooth move down to South Florida. Our information's on the screen, or you can skip the line, go to the link in my description, and book a Zoom call with me directly. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you on the next one.